The hour is late. Do you know where your spirit is? Your soul, even? Well, with a question like that, you know you've got to be listening to Poetry, Gossip, and the Pursuit of Pleasure with Dale Byron. That's me, your host. And this is a place where we explore significant questions using the power of practical poetry and poetry and stories in our lives. So, look, these are soul sapping times or spirit sapping times. There's no doubt about that. With the political, social, ecological, particularly the ecological challenges that we face. And so I wanted to zero in on one special poem today by the great poet Joy Harjo. And it's a poem entitled For Calling the Spirit Back from Wandering the Earth in Its Human Feet. How do you like that? For calling the spirit back from wandering the earth in its human feet, again by Joy Harjo, a very, very talented and amazing poet who is still writing, continues to write wonderful poetry. But let's jump right into it. Again, I want you to think about as just let this poem wash over you as we dig into it, and this theme of calling our spirit back, this theme of taking care of our spirit in these difficult times that we find ourselves in. Let's jump right into the poem. First line goes like this. Put down that bag of potato chips. Put down that bag of potato chips, that white bread, that bottle of pop. Turn off that cell phone, computer, and remote control. Open the door. Open the door, then close it behind you. Take a breath offered by friendly winds. They travel the earth, gathering essences of plants to clean. Give it back with gratitude. If you sing, it will give your spirit lift. If you sing, it will give your spirit lift to fly to the stars, ears, and back. Acknowledge this earth who has cared for you, who has cared for you since you were a dream, planting itself precisely within your parents' desire. Let your moccasin feet take you to the encampment of the guardians who have known you before time, who will be there after time. They sit before the fire that has been there without time. Let the earth stabilize your post colonial insecure jitters. Let the earth stabilize your post colonial insecure jitters. Be respectful of the small insects, birds, and animal people who accompany you. Ask their forgiveness for the harm we humans have brought down upon them. Don't worry. Don't worry. The heart knows the way through. There may be high rises, interstates, checkpoints, armed soldiers, massacres, wars, and those who will despise you because they despise themselves. The journey, the journey might take you a few hours, a day, a year, a few years, 100, 1,000, or even more. Watch your mind. Watch your mind. Without training, it might run away and leave your heart for the immense human feast set by the thieves of time. Do not hold regrets. Do not hold regrets. When you find your way to the circle, to the fire, kept burning by the keepers of your soul, you will be welcomed. You will be welcomed. You must clean yourself with cedar, sage, or other healing plant. Cut the ties you have to failure and shame. Cut the ties you have to failure and shame. Let go the pain you are holding in your mind, your shoulders, your heart, all the way to your feet. Let go the pain of your ancestors to make way for those who are heading in our direction. Ask for forgiveness. Ask for forgiveness. Call upon the help of those who love you. These helpers take many forms: animal, element, bird, angel, saint, stone, or ancestor. Call your spirit back. Call your spirit back. It may be caught in corners and creases of shame, judgment, and human abuse. You must call in a way that your spirit will want to return. Speak to it as you would to a beloved child. Speak to it as you would to a beloved child. Welcome your spirit back from its wandering. It may return in pieces, in tatters. Gather them together. They will be happy to be found after being lost for so long. For so long. Your spirit will need to sleep a while after it is bathed and given clean clothes. Now you can have a party. Invite everyone you know who loves and supports you. Keep room for those who have no place to go. Make a giveaway. Make a giveaway. And remember, keep the speeches short. Then you must do this. Help the next person find their way through the dark. Then you must do this. Help the next person find their way through the dark. I don't know about you, but I just found this poem by Joy Harjo, or actually a friend just sent it to me. I'd never seen it before. I know Joy Harjo's work. She is Native American and has, again, she's written so many wonderful poems. As I recall, she was poet laureate not that many years ago. There's a couple of lines in here. Again, this is that for the very special parts of your poetry first aid kit, I would say a poem like this belongs. I'm adding it to mine immediately. It belongs there because I don't know about you, but there are times when the difficulties can seem so immense, they can start stacking up. Again, the political, the social, particularly the ecological, the polycrisis, where we are being faced with so many different ecological crises all at the same time. It can actually obscure the eyes, obscure the vision, so that we are not seeing the incredible beauty, the incredible sources of joy, the incredible sources of awe, which are also all around us, which are also as true as the difficulties, as the disappointments, as the losses and the grieving. All that is true, all at the same time. And I think we need tools to call our spirit back into that place where we can witness the difficulties, witness the grieving and the loss and the flat out fear and disappointment at times, the despair, but also be a party to the joy and the surprise and the amazement that is also part of this world every moment that we are alive. The line, cut the ties you have to failure and shame. Now, how about that advice? Cut the ties you have to failure and shame. What an amazing line. And I love this also. Ask for forgiveness. Call upon the help of those who love you. Those helpers take many forms: animal, element, bird, angel, saint, stone, or ancestor. You know, one of the things that I feel like I've discovered, particularly over these last couple of years, where I've really been paying attention to this ecological polycrisis, is that the notion that we have, as the narrative, as a species, as human beings, that somehow we are over everything on this planet Earth, over this Mother Earth, that we should determine, we should control and be in charge of everything. That's a fool's errand. It's a fool's errand. We need to work with the animals, the elements, the birds, the angels, the saints, the stones, the ancestors. We are not separate from, we are part of this web that we call Earth, the natural world, even the universe, if we want to really widen the boundary. I love this too, these last few lines. Welcome your spirit back from its wandering. It may return in pieces, in tatters. Gather them together. Gather them together. They will be happy to be found after being lost for so long. Your spirit will need to sleep a while after it is bathed and given clean clothes. Now you can have a party. Invite everyone you know who loves and supports you. Keep room for those who have no place else to go. Make a giveaway. And remember, keep the speeches short. Then you must do this. Then you must do this. Help the next person find their way through the dark. Help the next person find their way through the dark. I hope maybe at least a line or two of this poem, maybe the whole poem, has helped you find the way through the dark. It's helped me. I'm sure of that. So, one super delicious poem. That's what we have for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. And that means that's a wrap. As I always say, thank you so much for your listening ear. If you learned something today, if you felt inspired, then please, by all means, pass the podcast along, make a comment. Any of that stuff would be great. I just want to get the poems out there. Okay, thank you again for listening. And until next time and next poem or poems, take good care of yourself.